last month. Oh, really? Looks like a face I saw. So we have 3 more. We have high. Okay, we talked about intimacy. R for respect. And then we have P, partnership. So let's put our hands together for ourselves. We tried. Collective effort, right. So today again we have, let's see what we can do in the next one. Remember we started talking on knowledge, the various aspects of knowledge that we need to keep, take cognizance of. Not talking about the knowledge of self, knowledge of your partner, knowledge of what marriage is, knowledge of building techniques for how to build a healthy relationship. And so today we are looking at knowledge on the things that can destroy marriage, knowledge on the enemies of marriage. Knowledge on of the enemies of marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing. God created marriage for humanity that our lives can progress. Marriage is supposed to add to us. Marriage is supposed to make us better. And if I ask anybody here, you will see people who marriages is not making their lives better because they got married maybe for the wrong reason, to the wrong person. There are several issues, lack of knowledge, and all of those things. And it's not just enough to know what makes marriage work, like we have talked about last month, right? When we talked about friendship. It's not just enough to know what makes marriage work. It's also important to know what can destroy marriage. So when you bought your phone, they told you how to use your phone, how to get the best out of that gadget. True or true? Right, and if you go through the manual that a lot of us do not do, by the way, towards the end of it, they tell you caution. Things that can also destroy your phone. Because they know that if you are doing all the good things to get the best and you are not aware of things you can do to destroy the phone, you might just eventually destroy the phone. So everything, comes with the good and the bad. Right? So learning what keeps your marriage together, learning what helps you build a good friendship is fantastic. But we will not be mindful of what? Of those things as well that you might be doing unconsciously, indirectly, that could also, hinder or sabotage that dream of having a beautiful marriage. One of it is that you as a person, we need to keep learning. We need to keep growing. My husband and I, we've been at a couples retreat since Friday. We just checked out from the hotel and we came in here. And we had a couple that's been married 31 years. They were at that meeting. One would think a 31-year-old couple married that long. And the man said, yeah, they don't have any problem in their marriage. They are just here to refresh, to learn again. To just get better, just hang out with other younger couples, share experiences, enjoy themselves. We have to keep learning because what is becoming of your marriage is who you are becoming. So your marriage cannot be better than you. Your marriage cannot be better than you. If you as a person is getting better, your marriage would get better. So when people say, what are they going to teach? They've been teaching, they've been talking, I have everything figured out. Well, for some people it might be, but then how do you maintain what you have? And maintenance is even more important. True or true? Because marital sustenance is very, very key. So if I don't finish it today, I have 10 points I want to share with us. And I trust that we'll pick the lessons and then we'll begin to run with them. All right, so knowledge on the things that can destroy marriage. So what are enemies of marriage? So just to give a definition. Enemies of marriage is anything, any concept, any person or any situation that causes repeated conflict in your marriage or relationship and puts your marriage at a higher risk of crisis or separation. Any concept, anything, any person, any situation that causes repeated conflict, causes repeated issues, and makes your marriage be at a higher risk of crisis or separation. I'll break it down as I go ahead. That is what can be classified as enemies of marriage. It can be a thing, it can be a person. Sometimes somebody comes to spend a week in your family, and the impact, the negative impact they create in that 1 week can last for 5 years. True or true? So anybody that is coming into your home and causing quarrel, that person can be tagged as what? As an enemy, regardless of who that person is. Because sometimes people think that because I'm your in-law, you have to respect me. The fact that I'm a relative to your spouse, that I'm a brother to your wife, or I'm a sister, the fact that you are an in-law, you have to respect and regard me. But I say, I would rather want to respect you first because you are a human being. And you have the characteristics of what? A normal human being. Because somebody just thinks, because I'm your in-law, I can talk to you anyhow. True or true? Because I'm your in-law, I can take, barge into your house, do whatever I like. But that is someone being insensitive to somebody else's territory. And some of us here, we are in-laws. Perhaps we don't. I trust that we don't belong to such categories. So that's just by the way. So the first thing I will share with you that is an enemy of marriage is rigidity. Somebody say rigidity. Rigidity. The ability not to bend your rules, no matter the situation. You are very fixated. You are fixed in your ways. You are not flexible. You don't want to compromise. It is either my way or the highway. This is what I think should be done, and it has to be like that. You want to eat rice, I want to eat beans. Can't we eat rice and beans? No. I always want my bed to be in a certain way. If you don't lay that bed one day, would heaven fall? I always like to sit on the right side. Can you move to the middle or sit on the left side? There's going to be war. When you are not flexible, and like they say, the most flexible person controls what? Controls the system, has the power. So when you cannot bend your rules, when you are very, you are very straight, the way you talk, can you improve on it? That's the way I talk. Take me for who I am. Remember, it's one of the wrong things to say. That's the way I've been. Everybody knows that I have small way, and that's the way I've always been. And you can't bend. You have rules, you have policies, you have principles that you don't want to look the other way. The same sex some people have been having since 1807. The same sex is the same sex they are still having in 2022. The way they have been having sex with your partner. If you are married, put up your hand. So I know that. If you are married, do. Mm-hmm. So someone is saying, can we try something else? Can we spice things up? What's wrong with the one we are doing? It's not broken, you should not fix it. Some things you have to polish it. Even if it's not broken, just polish it, just paint it. Just make it look better. Are we together? Because sometimes you would have a plan and your plan may not go as you have planned. Can you accommodate changes? I want to wear blue. Okay, blue is not available. Can you wear dark blue? There's going to be a problem. Some married couples, we cannot be flexible. And it's not good. A couple had a quarrel because they wanted to change their bed. And they said, okay, we are going to buy maybe a 6x6 or 6x8. And the man went to the market and didn't get the agreed size they wanted. And the man just said, it should be bed La Ferra, right? Let me just go for something that is still better, durable, but smaller. And bought 6x5 instead of maybe 6x8. It was wow. How about if the man had gone and didn't come back with a bed, with a mattress? But because it was 6x5, it became an issue that brought them into counseling with a lot of other things anyway. You understand what I mean? Because in that quarrel, conflict happened. Conversation was not nice. It affected sex. It affected food. It affected their communication. On top, but it started with mattress. So we want to live in a 3-bedroom apartment. And you got a 2-bedroom apartment. Because life happens. You don't know what is ahead. There will be things that will demand that you forget whatever plans that you have had. So rigidity is one of the enemies. Even if you are dating as a young person, as a single person, it could also affect your relationship. And that's why some people are not married till now. They've not found. Because they are fixated on the tall, the dark, and the handsome. So if tall is not available, if draft is available, if dark is not available, and the one that shows up is fair, Can you manage? The question you should ask yourself, if you are being flexible, is it going to cost my life? Because as married couples, there will be things I want my husband to do, and I may be right, or maybe not right. I may think that is the right thing to do, right? And I'm telling him, can we go this way? And he says, no, let's go the other way. And I'm asking myself, so okay, before you start a fight, what would it cost? If you are going the other way, if it's not going to cost a life, if the outcome will not be grievous, if it's not going to cost us any major setback, let's make decision together. So on whatever crossroad we get to, as long as we have made the decision together, nobody's going to say, Shebi, I told you, or whatever. We made the decision. So rigidity. And it's one thing that fuels our ignorance as well. Because you don't want to learn. You are not teachable. You don't want to learn. And when you're not learning, you are not growing. And everything around you begins to stink. Because that's the way you have been. It might be a challenge for those who are melancholies. That's one of the personalities that have, issues with being rigid. Melancholies usually find it very difficult to bend. They just have this, unhealthy way sometimes. They're just obsessed with what they want to do. So how do you relate to someone like that, who you are trying to share a better idea with, for instance? Or you are trying to communicate a need to? That can we change the way you look? It's always blue and white. Can you make it yellow and white? Can the food be better? No, that's the way they have been cooking it. Can the sex improve? Is that a problem? Can we move? Am I making sense? Rigidity is an enemy. The next thing is immaturity. Immaturity. Somebody say immaturity. Behaving like a child. Behaving like what? Like a child. Anybody here now may need water. And, ask for water. And they say, okay, I'll get you water. I don't expect anybody here to be crying because of water. But if it's Pastor Shola now that say, Brother Foster should get him water. And he says, I'm coming. And it's 10 minutes. The water has not come. And he starts to, throw tantrums. I'm sure Pastor Susan will first of all look, you can be a funny guy. You will excuse him. And by the time he starts to, maybe wants to remove his shoe or remove his dress, he will call his husband, pay. Something is happening here. But that's how some of us do in marriage. Even though we are 27, even though we are 35, even though we are 40, some of us, including myself, early in my relationship, I can say that, early years in our marriage, when we have issues, I won't talk. I just go and sit down in one place. What happened? Go see. Why are you frowning? Nothing. Talk to me. Leave me alone. And the guy is just worried. He can't figure it out. But my body language is saying there is war. So how will I suffer this guy? Sometimes it can take 3 days. We are doing other things. Holy malice. He's coming. I go my own in one small house. So as you grow up, I realize that, am I just going to continue like this? Right? So immaturity. The way we respond to our partners sometimes. Unexpected behaviors that we display. You might have promised your partner you are going to buy them a gift on Friday. And so they offend you on Tuesday. And Friday comes. You did not buy the gift. You say, I will take you out on Saturday. And they just offend you small on Wednesday. You just cancel it. That's being childish. That's immaturity. That's what? Somebody offend you, and your husband is calling, or your partner is calling, but because you had a disagreement, you didn't pick their call. You don't know what's happening to that person. But because you are hungry, you didn't pick the person's call. You will call tired today, and you are seeing 10 missed calls, and the person is still calling. You didn't pick the call. You are by yourself, you are destroying the relationship. Am I communicating? Yeah. You can also be mature by how you talk about your partner to other people. Your partner will offend you. Every married person knows that. There will be times that there will be things my partner will do I do not like. And so you report them to their mother, to their sister, to their brother, to church member, to neighbors. Even you call the ex to report them. Yes, now. Some people do it, you don't know. They call their husband's ex or their partner's ex. So you report and report and report your husband or your wife to everybody. And that person loses respect and loses regard. Because you will still settle with that man. But the many people you have reported him to or reported her to, how do you want them to watch, to see him, to perceive him? Immaturity. Some of us can keep malice for Africa. Someone offends you. Can you have a conversation about it? Can you call up the person and talk about it? Because if you're also single, the traits that you are displaying now is what you are going to do in marriage. Don't think that on that wedding day when they pray for you, respect will just fly in. As they're laying hands on you, calmness will just fly inside. Ability to resolve conflict will just fly inside. No, that pattern will transit with you. Except intervention happens and you learn and you break the patterns. And you deliberately look at what you are doing wrong and you what? And you change. So if you are single now and you're already having those kind of issues in your relationship now, it's going to follow you into marriage. So let's face it now and what? And do something about it. So some of us can keep malice. And that's the way I am. When somebody offends me, I just block them. That guy that you are going to marry will offend you. And we see it happen in marriage. They can't handle the conflict because the person now is in your space 24/7. Are we together? Silence treatment as well is part of being immature. You are silent. You are ignoring the person. You are stonewalling. You are gaslighting. You are making them feel bad. Because of what? You are not matured enough to handle emotional distress. Because it will happen. It will happen. And that's an enemy of marriage. You can't continue to be immature in relationship and expect it to thrive and be fun for the both of you. If you are rigid, if you are immature, it's going to affect your relationship. Selfishness is the next thing. This is even very, 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 very common and top on the list. I'm after my own good. Me, I, myself. If I'm fine, every other person can go to hell. You can't have a thriving relationship. As long as I can eat. So that's why I wonder when a man says, you are married and you get home ahead of your wife. You get home and all you can do, switch on the TV or pick on your phone. You are playing, you are snuffing, checking the internet, chatting with people. And you are calling your wife, I'm at home, please hurry up. The same wife who had gone to work the same way you had gone. Spiritual wickedness in the high places. So you are shaking your leg. You came back maybe 7 or 8. You left in the morning 6 o'clock. The woman left 6:30. You came back ahead of her, and all that you can do is to be playing and be whiling away time and be calling her. Where are you now? You're not back. That's selfishness. The same woman who has gone out to make sure that our life is what? Is better. And we have men like that, who they are just after their own. I remember a young guy that, is so selfish to a point where I don't know how someone you want to drink pap, and you use your own can of milk. And there are other people around him that want to take the same pap with him. Aside the fact that it's not healthy, a whole can of milk. And the friend said, that's not even the only time he does it, and that's not the only thing he does. That you have your other people around you, you are not even mindful. Let it even go around. Let's share, let everybody be okay. You finish it and break the tin and remove it and make sure that to the tiniest drop, you have it. Because sometimes we can, we can display some attitude and we think that it's okay, it's normal. But by the time you get into committed relationships, you won't be able to sustain it. Because you are all about yourself. Am I fine? Am I okay? You should take care of yourself. I'm not bothering you. Don't bother me. That's why we talked about service last month. If you are not ready to serve, don't get married. You are going to serve. You are going to give. So focusing on your own advantage alone, you want to pleasure yourself alone without regard for others, that is selfishness. I can't cook, I can't clean, I can't do all of those things. No matter what happens, you are the woman. You should be the one doing it. That's not being kind. Because how do you also want to love someone who doesn't take your back, who doesn't look out for you? Even if you want to love that person with the love of God, it will get to a point you will be tired. Because love would also be what? You reciprocate it. So you will see a pregnant woman, has a child, had a back, has another pregnancy, carries another child, carries a bag, and you will see one useless man with cutlass behind him. That, oh yes, see now, daddy of the house. My wife is pregnant. Look at us. But he's carrying nothing. The woman still has load on her head. Still carry one. So it's important that we know some of those things that can just ruin our marriage. And it can show up in different ways. Being selfish. You can have money. Your partner doesn't have money. Can you support? Is your life, is your family. It doesn't matter who has the funds. As long as everybody is what? Taken care of. Everybody is fine. It's your house. You are taking care of your family. You are taking care of your children. Can you wash? You know, sometimes single people think that all we do in marriage is having sex. There's a lot that happens in marriage. There is a lot that happens. Somebody needs to cook. Somebody needs to clean. Somebody needs to tidy. Somebody needs to get out the trash. Somebody needs to do school runs. Somebody needs to go to work and make money. We are negotiating for a lot of things every day to make our interaction seamless. So, but when you're not concerned about the other person. I remember one guy talking to us recently. He said, how can I help my wife? She's pregnant. I said, for you to be asking that question, I love you already. She said, my wife is pregnant. And this is someone who has always been worried about pregnant women around him. Now, my wife is pregnant. I said, okay, so what's happening to her? Nothing, not that she, but my wife is pregnant. That we are pregnant. How can I help? I mean, sit down. There are plenty of ways to help. But because you are mindful alone, that makes, why won't that woman like you? Why won't she love you? Why would she want to lay down her life for you? Are we together? So don't take care of yourself alone. Take care of your partner. Take care of your partner. Be mindful of your wife. Be mindful of your spouse. So the fourth thing is wrong mindset. That's another enemy of marriage. Wrong mindset. Talking about selfishness. You know, some men, no matter what is happening, they have to eat. I've heard of men who would not care what the wife and the children eat. They will go out. You just see that they are fine. They won't bother anybody, and they don't want to be bothered. I don't know how they do it. You will just go out, you will eat, you'll be all right. You just stroll in and sleep. Because somehow in your head, the woman will figure out the children. And that's the truth. She won't want her children, what? To suffer. And so because of that, you deprive her. You have to have the last meat. Yeah, it has to be the biggest. The meat that children need more than you. You are already in your 40s, you are still dragging meat with children. But that thing, you know, that African mentality thing, daddy wants to eat. It has to be the big daddy of the house. It has to be selfish. It has to be the biggest meat. So wrong mindset. As you are all seated looking at me right now, all of you have different beliefs. And as I'm speaking, those beliefs are filtering the things I'm saying. You are picking the ones that make sense. You are just dropping the ones that, you know, wait, what is this one saying? That doesn't gel. This coach, they are just in this place. Because the danger of a wrong mindset is that it can override everything I'm saying. It's so strong and powerful that it has been cemented, it has been concreted. So that's why you cannot read one book and think that your life will change automatically. You have to read it again and again. Get the information inside of it to what? To rewire your subconscious. Because many things have happened to you in life. Many people have passed through your life who have dropped their own what? Mindset, concept, ideas, ideologies in your mind. And you have held on to some of those things as what? As the standard, as the truth. So when you come for meetings like this or any meeting, be open-minded to add to your knowledge. So that those mindsets that you have can be what? Upgraded. Because when some people talk with you, you can see that, ooh, what a wrong belief, what a wrong mindset. But they are very what? Confident and bold in it. Because they don't want to accommodate new informations. Are we together, friends? So wrong mindset about marriage is a great enemy. If you have a wrong mindset, it can make you look like a wicked person. Culture will destroy you, will make you look like a demon, and you are holding on to things that is not healthy. So what mindset do you have about marriage? Because we always have to question it. We always have to look at it. Is it healthy? Is it progressive? Is it fair? Whatever mindset that doesn't teach love, fairness, just, and equality, please drop it. If it's not progressive, this is 2022. Are we together, friends? So some software has to go. Some software has to go. The way some men still see women. And it can be painful because some of them are Christians and they are well read. I've met men who have 3 or 4 or 5 masters. But they still believe that if they do not have a male child, that woman doesn't have a place in their home. I've seen a lot. And so you just wonder, so what's the place of the education that you have? But mindset and culture can be very strong and override whatever education that you have. Because some people will tell you, it is our culture. The culture that somebody or a group of people just sat together and decided in many years ago. People who couldn't capture a time where a woman can be, the leader of a multinational. People who couldn't capture that one day I can sit in my house with a small gadget and control thousands of people. So what mindset do we have about marriage? What are the values that you have about marriage, about relationship? How do you see men? How do you see women? How do you see domestic chores? The man I told you was married for 31 years, who was at the wedding, at the couple's retreat with us. He said for 4 years when they had a child, he had his own business. For 4 years when he had a child, he was the one bathing their children. That the wife doesn't know how to bathe children. The man will be the one to carry babies for 4 years, bathing them. There are some men that they would rather die than do it. I know those men are not here, they are online. Because some of us, the kind of marriage we want to replicate is the kind of marriage our parents have. And is that what you want? But you are still behaving like your father. You are still behaving like your mother. We all have it too, including myself. But we had to move and learn and adapt and change and be flexible and be open-minded to say there are better ways we can do things. Marriage is not slavery. Because some men just think that because I'm the man, I must know everything. I must have the final say. The married people inside this place know that when all of us get home, we cut ourselves to size. And say, yeah, married man, I'm the daddy of the house. We know. Abi? We understand the way it goes when we go to our different houses. Because the fact that you are the man, yes, there was no competition. That was how God made it. We recognize it. As I stand here, I believe that the man is the head of what? Of the home. I don't believe otherwise. Even though I've listened to other opinions. But I still come back to think that I think this belief I have, I hold dear to it. That the man is the head. But that doesn't mean that man knows everything. Because that's what makes some men feel that they are the man. I must have answers to everything. It doesn't mean. The fact that you are the head doesn't mean you are the smartest. You will get to a point your children will even be the ones giving you what? Advices, giving you counsel. Who have better opinion. So what mindset do you have? Pay attention to those mindsets and be willing to grow. I hear some men say, if you don't shout at your woman, you are not demonstrating power. I say, shouting? Really? That means there's something wrong with your relationship. If you have to shout at your wife, to shout her to submission, to do what needs to be done. To put her in her place, to put her in check. When you marry rebel, you will know that you cannot put any woman in check. It's a relationship. So some men will never allow their women to try because it's a wrong mindset they grew up with, that rich women will not be submissive. That rich women, that if a woman is successful in her career, that she won't be submissive. She won't listen. She will be proud. Are there rich women who are proud? Yes. Are there rich women who are submissive? Absolutely yes. But when a man just thinks that that is what he believes, so how do you want such a man who has such a mindset to allow the wife to fly? And some women also believe there is no money, there is no marriage, there is no money, you can't work. Some men believe their in-laws are superior to their wives. Some men respect and regard their family members more than their spouses. So what mindset? Because some of us are in church, but somehow those mindset that, we grew up with. We saw how our parents did marriage. In some of us in our homes, women are treated as what? As another object. And it's a lot that we are dealing with right now because the mindset will show. And until we break that mindset, that person won't, accept new information, new realities, new, help. Are we learning? So a wrong mindset is a destroyer. So be careful. Pay attention to yourself. Reflect. When you hear some things, when you see a movie, when you hear new information, reflect on it before you absorb it. And even the ones that you have up until now, begin to filter, begin to check it. There are better ways we can do relationship. You don't have to subdue and lord over anybody. The next thing is assumptions. Somebody say assumptions. Rigidity, maturity, selfishness, wrong beliefs, wrong mindset, and assumptions. What are assumptions? They told us that assumption is a level of knowledge, but unfortunately it is what? The lowest level of knowledge. So you can see some things, you can know some things about your partner or happen in your relationship, but the best thing to do is to ask. Somebody say ask. Spouses have made dangerous decisions because they assumed what their partner was doing or trying to do, and they were wrong. All of us assume, I've done it too. You just figure out, so when you do like this, I know the next thing you want to do. So I make a decision already because I know that's the next thing you are going to do. And sometimes I was wrong. That's why to avoid assumption in your relationship or marriage, let communication be clear. Let communication be clear. Don't give, two-sided conversation, communication. Let it be open. Let it be clear. Let me know you are telling me stand up. So right now in my relationship with my husband, I ask a lot of questions. And he's willing to answer. Sometimes you are typing, he's trying to tell me something. In recent time, we've had that, little issue. And it's like, this is not what I'm saying, this is what I mean. I say, Oga, just hold on. Let this conversation end with this text message. When we get to, we'll talk about it. Because we can interpret messages what? Differently. I would think you are saying A, but you are saying what? Something else. So, one day I took my dad to the eye clinic. Many years ago before he passed, he had, eye problem. And we got to the clinic and their lift was bad. We had to go to the 4th or 5th floor in that clinic. So I had to hold him and we walked that high. I had my bag, I had his medication, I had some files. And immediately I settled into the sitting area. Everything just dropped, in my hand, my bag. So I was like, but I saw a lady seated, just, looking at us. And in my mind, I'm like, at least help me pack me, just help somebody now. So I shall manage. My dad sat down. So I packed all my stuff. But in my mind, the person I don't know was already feeling, you didn't even help. See everything as, lo and behold, as I sat, I saw another person walked in to lead her to the consultation room. I was angry with a blind lady that was not even aware of all my dilemma, my own wahala. She was looking at me, her eyes were open, but she was blind. And for a moment, I said, you can see how life is. How you can just judge people wrongly. We were somewhere recently, and a lady sat down and put her bag on the chair beside her. And a friend had passed, she has walked up and down. This lady was on her phone. She put her bag beside her. And she went and tell other ladies, you don't see that Winida. She purposely put her bag on that chair beside her so that nobody will sit beside her. And the lady asked, have you asked her, is this seat vacant? And someone else walked to the same spot and said, can I sit? And she just put down the bag. And that's how you will have talked about her to a few other people. She's proud, she's this. But you assume, and we do it to our partners as well. Oh, can you take me to the movies? And I want to go out with my friends. Oh. You just assume that you don't love me, you don't like me, you don't want to go to the movie with me, you don't want to spend money on me, you don't want to, you just come up with like 10 reasons. The guy just gave you, I want to hang out with the boys. If you had allowed him to land, maybe it was even about saying, I want to go with the boys, but you know, we can still go to the movies. Married people understand what I'm saying. So assumption can kill our relationships. Let the communication be what? Be clear. Because if you are someone who assumes a lot, you always, preempt. You just be coming up with things in your head. You will judge that person wrongly. You will judge situation wrongly. So ask, what do you mean? Is this what you are trying to tell me? Because the way somebody just looks at you sometimes, you can come up with 101 reason. And why did you roll your eyes like that? And the person may have something in their eyes they are trying to, there's something in my eyes, so. And you will just make a decision inside and cause problem. For the next 5 hours, the rolling of eye that did not concern you. So I watched a movie many years ago. They were dating, right? And she said she went to maybe a very busy place like Allen and saw that her partner, the guy, came out from a bridal shop with a wedding dress, like someone who had just got to pick up a dress. The lady just went straight up to the guy's house, destroyed the TV, broke the kitchen, because in her head, if it wasn't your bride, would you come and carry somebody's wedding dress? Destroyed everything. I'm not doing it again. Started to call people, this one, that one. And the guy was like, what happened? From where to where? I saw you. You went to collect your bride's dress. I said, bride's dress? How, where, when? Unfortunately, he was sent on an errand. They had dry cleaned the clothes. It was a wedding dress somebody had worn before. They said they went to dry clean because somebody wanted to borrow it. So the guy was just supposed to pick up the wedding dress and deliver to another person. But because you saw her, you assumed that, because you saw him, you assumed that he was getting married and he was in a relationship with you. The guy said, I do they do again. This one is enough sign for me to know that all is not going to be well. Because I will make plenty mistakes in the future. And if you cannot call me to say, I saw you in Ikeja with a wedding dress, is everything okay? What are you shopping for? What are you... Or even tease the person. Are you buying to, to surprise me? So how are you assuming on your partner? How are you misjudging that person? So always ask to be sure. Tell your partner, always ask. It's better to ask. Sometimes you may even look as if my husband will be looking at, why are you asking? Hello, sir. Is this what you are trying to say? Oh, yes, this is what I mean. This is not what I mean. And everybody is on the same page. Are we learning? Yeah. So the next thing is perfectionism. Right. I am perfect. Put up your hand. I am perfect. That's why my hands are up. We got the grace of God. Everything is just, I don't have any flaws. I don't make mistakes. If you are perfect like me, raise up your hand now. So perfectionism is that you want a perfect behavior from that partner. No human being has a perfect behavior for marriage. But we all can develop the right behaviors for marriage. If you are looking for someone that will take all the T's, dot all the I's, it's a lie. We can grow. Are you with me? We can get better. We can be near perfect and working towards perfection. So when you have an idea that this person, this marriage, my life, my relationship, I'm sure some of you watched that movie. I can't remember the name now. He's a young guy dating a lady. He actually has low level of OCD. So when you come into his house, you have to remove your shoes, he gives you wipes to wipe your leg. He gives you another footwear to wear into his house. And so if you move his bottle of water like this, he will know. And he will be uncomfortable. He has to be. If you sit down, all the etiquette of this world, you have to have it when you are sitting with it. You remember the movie? When you are sitting on this table. So the lady was like, what's all this rigidity around you? You know, even if a grain of rice falls on the table, the guy will say he has a headache. That no, he will start cleaning. The water must not drop. Everything must be sparkling. So I tell you true life. Early this year, we had to cancel a whole family. The children were all diagnosed of OCD. It started because one of them, the eldest, went to a boarding school. That was when it got bad because he couldn't cope. And that was why the man left the woman. The woman is someone who believes that everything must be what? In place. And God bless you with 3 hyperactive boys. So to her, everything must be orderly. Is it good to be orderly? Yes. But she was above and far at the other extreme. And somehow she was able to condition all of these children. The man couldn't live with her because the man said, it's not possible. When I was cutting, they conditioned me, put your bag here, put your shoe. I was cutting. Now I can rent a house. It's my house. I can walk in and decide to sleep on my couch. The woman sleeps on their bed, telling you true life, wakes up the man because she wants to lay the bed. That the way she's going and coming, and that part of the bed is not laid, is disturbing her. And that's the truth. It's actually disturbing her. It makes her feel uncomfortable. And the guy will go and sleep on the couch. And the woman says, no, it will be smelling. You can't sleep here. The man will go back into the room, get a duvet, put on the floor to sleep. To finish his sleep. You can't sleep here. Everybody is awake. Everybody needs to get something doing. I didn't hear you. Yes. So eventually the man left. So when their first child got into boarding school, he couldn't survive. He couldn't concentrate. It was as bad as the guy would be in the midst of people and he would have anxiety. And so they had to bring him back, and when we started the work, we realized I was from home. Yeah, sometimes it's medical. But it's so bad because she was able to condition those children. And it was obvious that that child would have been a sanguine child who can never be organized, like some of us. If you're a sanguine, you know what I mean, right? Let's leave our wardrobe like that. We know where everything is. Even though it's disorganized, we know where everything is. The sky will not fall. I hear you, Lejare. Because I don't understand my husband. Why will you be arranging wardrobe every Saturday? Pastor, I know you are together, but where is Pastor Susan? Why will you arrange wardrobe every Saturday? Some of you are like that too. If you see our wardrobe, you don't believe my own is my own. You will think my own is his own. Let me do my day, I beg. But the issue is, if you not help me to rearrange it, that's what disorganizes me. In that state, I can figure out everything by myself. So when you want everything to be perfect, you want this person to behave in a way, talk in a way, live life in a way, have everything figured out. You will stress yourself and stress that person. And you might not be able to what? To build a relationship. You are always focusing on what is wrong and not the good of that person. So how do you want to build a relationship when all you see when I show up is that my shoe is worn somehow, my dress is not ironed, your hair is not combed, why is your nose like this? Can't you just? So some of us need to begin to check ourselves. We might just have some of these things. And if it's a disorder, check into therapy. We have seen cases like that, I tell you. And the woman, and you just wonder, didn't you see the signs? Yeah, I saw it, but it never got bad until they lived together. Are you aware some people cannot? It is well. So perfectionism. So, Father said toothpaste. The way some people want to press toothpaste. It's true. Because some people just, as long as something can come out, let's just press it and wash it. But some people has to, it's not as if they are managing it, but they just feel, do it order. Everything must be system. Everything must be program. Everything must be structure. It's a lie. I believe in systems. I believe in structures. But when you now want to use your behavior and impose it on people around you, that's why some people do not have friends, because people cannot relate with them. Because every time you find fault more than you find the good. So I remember a young couple, they were married, and so many years ago, the order was that after your wedding, you go and visit those that sponsored your wedding, right? Go and greet uncle, and it has to be a physical visit. Not these days where you just send text to everybody. Thank you for coming. So they had gone to see this uncle who was not at the wedding, but had just arrived the country, just came back from abroad. So they got there, they started chatting, and the guy is an extrovert. He's sanguine, and the lady was quite reserved. So they asked him if he was going to eat. I will eat too. They gave the guy food. The food was sweet. He ordered. He said, is it remaining? Maybe it's my in-law house. The guy had another dish. And he asked the uncle that he was meeting for the first time. Uncle, you just came around. I said, what did you bring now? Please go and bring your bag. Go and bring your bag. And he followed the uncle inside. And uncle was searching back. They gave him shares, gave him shoe, even used wristwatch. The guy was just feeling cool. He went inside the kitchen, washed the plates that he used to eat. And the lady was furious. Don't you know eyes? Don't you know body? Can't you? The guy was just eating. He was just chatting with the auntie. Auntie, you can cook. Oh. I'll be coming here every Saturday. Kiniko. But the lady, she couldn't just bust. So when they got home, the wahala was plenty. And so reported that to maybe their pastor. And the pastor said, it's nothing, but really, come and see KT. Even from the reception, the way the guy was talking, I already knew that these are the super extrovert. That's their life. That's their way. So if you want to do perfectionism around the sanguine, you will be frustrated. So the guy said he didn't know what he did wrong, actually. They gave me food. It was sweet. When he said, Mama Jessie, and I said yes. Uncle just came from abroad. You don't know what TM t-shirt will cost. That I got 2 for free with sneakers. Counselor, what did I do? I was just being myself. And the lady was like, you are not cultured. I said, this is not a matter of being cultured. Didn't you see before you marry him? Yeah, there has to be now a bit of, refinement, adjustment, and all of that. But you have to accept what you married. Because if you are trying to change that guy to be a version of yourself, your marriage will not work. You will frustrate him and frustrate yourself. And so I asked her, when you guys were dating, you dated for didn't you say, I used to like him. He was very jovial. Money, that's jovial now. Enjoy it. He was very, very outspoken. Enjoy it. So I now say, bros, let's have personal sessions. And that is where they behave in in-law house. When they say eat, you say you don't want first. You say you don't want. You calm down. So simple as that can destroy relationship. That's who you married. When I also got married, if my husband can play now, there is nobody that cannot play. Because when I got married to my husband, play was like, what's wrong with you? Must you play? I said, I must play. Don't be using those ones on me. But we had to accept each other, and he had to learn, and I also had to calm down. So we met in the middle. But if I said, no, I'm going to be like this, and he also insisted we be like that, how do we want to relate? So when you want your partner to be perfect, you are going to frustrate that relationship. See the good in that person. Accept the person and help them to change. Nobody is perfect, and nobody would ever be. But we can all grow working towards what? Perfection. So unrealistic expectation. And I'll suspend till next week so we can take a few questions. Unrealistic what? Expectation. It is ideal that if you are going to get married, you should come into marriage with some level of expectation. I expect you to talk to me respectfully. I expect you to be faithful. I expect you to be kind. I expect you to provide. I expect you to clean. I expect you to have good behavior, to be of a good example to society. You have expectations. Those ones are basic expectations. But you will also have expectations that will not be met. You will also have expectations that are unrealistic. So you both live in Lagos. Your wife leaves home 5 a.m. and comes back 10 p.m. and you want fresh cooked meals every day. Are you realistic? Fresh too. I don't eat from the freezer. It is well with you. In Lagos, so let's kukuma pray, and that health issue has to go. And if because we've seen cases like that as well, but it's not going to be that woman. You have to what? Source for help. If really your health doesn't permit that, you eat, food from the freezer or you eat certain things. But not the same woman who wakes up 4 a.m. to get out 5 p.m. and 5 a.m. and comes back 10 p.m. and wants her into the kitchen at that time. Remember selfishness? Yeah. Being unkind, remember? So we have our expectation has to be realistic. We have to be mindful of what we are asking. Can this person deliver on what I want? When that woman came into your house, she was like 6. Baby 1, poor. Baby 2, baby 3, and you want her to still remain the same way. Some people, might happen for them, but a lot of us, it doesn't happen like that. So you are being unrealistic when you want a woman who had lived with you 20 years to look like 18. That's wickedness. And so when some men too have pot belly, you manage it. You love them with it. Pastor Inda Abi? You love them with it. But don't let it be too much. And we don't want pot belly. So, another version of people say they don't want pot belly. The way you were looking when we got married, they want 6 packs. You're asking for 6 pack. Say you have flat tummy. So if you're also asking for flat tummy, start with 6 pack. So that the balance will be, the equation will be balanced. Don't expect so much from your partner. I remember one time I was telling my husband, you come at the dinner, did be 4, be 5. I should come back home 4 or 5 p.m. I don't still have a company yet. They are paying us, so the person that see work should do the work very well in this Lagos. When I'm not a teacher, even teacher said we do extra class. 6 o'clock, he's not yet back. But I was joking because at that time in our life, we were just very busy. But I had to be realistic. Because if you are not realistic with your expectation, you will set yourself up for disappointment. And you will always be pained. You will set yourself up for, So how much is our salary? The whole revenue of your family is 500K. And you want to live in a duplex in Lekki. Even if you try it, you are going to be in what? In a lot of debt. You are living far above your means. Oh, we have to change our car every year, and your salary is not increasing. It's unrealistic. So how do you want it to be met? So it's just like someone who marries, maybe a personality like we mentioned. You marry a personality, maybe someone who is a flag, and you want her to know all the colors, be outgoing, be very cheerful, open her house to everybody. It's not going to happen. That expectation you are demanding of her may not happen. Or even if it will, you have to reduce it and not make it what? Too high. And she's not being wicked. A flag wants her space, she wants her space. She's nice, she's loving, she wants to accommodate people, but she also has a right to say, I don't want. It's angry when people in her house, let them come. It's okay for everybody to come, but for a phlegmatic, you are going to overwhelm her or him. I'm talking about personality. Maybe later on we'll share a bit on that. Let me know when time. Pastor Bennett, help me with time so we can take questions. Unrealistic expectations. So your wife is pregnant. And you still expect this pregnant woman to do everything she does when she wasn't carrying another 2 or 3 or 4 kg in her body. That's not nice. Be realistic with the demands you are making. We talked about needs, meeting your partner's needs, right? Emotional needs, sexual needs, financial needs, domestic support. But are those needs, how realistic? Can this person do them? And sometimes that person can do them, but that person may need time to learn, to grow, to adjust, to be able to deliver as you expect it. And whatever you are expecting of your partner, be the first person to give it. That's been my own rule. And that's what I do with my partner. If I want him to give me, time, I create it. If I want him to give me money, I also do for him. If I want him to give me peace, I give him peace. What I want, I give it first. What I expect, I deliver it first. I want him to serve me in these areas. I also go ahead to serve him in the ways he wants me to serve him. Am I meeting that person's love language? Am I delivering on the things that will make them happy? Sometimes it would cost you, certainly. You have to stretch yourself and sacrifice to make sure that person get the best of you. Let your expectations be realistic. So anytime you are making demand of your partner, just reflect and be fair. This thing I'm requesting of this person, can he or she do it? At this time I want it, at the pace I want it to be done, let me be fair. If I want to demand for 50, can I ask for 25? Maybe for a start, for whatever it is it might be. Are we together? Yeah. All right, so let's do one more so we can take comments, so we don't extend beyond maybe the next 10 or 20 minutes. We can round up for today. So I'll talk briefly on trauma, unhealed trauma. That's the 8th point. Unhealed trauma, dysfunctional, background. That's one of the things some of us, because sometimes in our marriages, some of the quarrels, some of the issues we have are imported. We brought it. We imported those difficulties, those situations. They were not supposed to be part of our dynamics at all. But when we've been through pain and we are not healed, that's why I said they are unhealed traumas. We bring them, right? Unhealed. You are not healed from the pain of the past. So we bring it into our relationship and it causes, more problem. We bring bad parenting. We bring bad lifestyle. I talked about the mindset. We bring them. We bring bitterness, enviness, jealousy, people pleasing, different personalities, because we have not what? And that's a major enemy of marriage. Sometimes you are in a counseling room with 2 people, but really there are more than 2 people. The many major people and significant people in their lives who have deposited so much are invisibly present in that minute. Sometimes some of them have died, but their influences are so strong, and they have brought it into the life of this man or this woman because of how they were raised, the challenges they went through. So I tell people, if you grew up with little or no trauma, you are at an advantage. If growing up for you, you grew up in lovely families, your parents were beautiful, they had good marriages, you didn't go through any loss of a loved one, no rape, no abuse, you wanted to go to school, school was ready, you wanted food, you had food, you were not deprived of the basic things of life, you didn't struggle, everything was pretty much fine, like some of us are trying to do with our children. You are at an advantage. So sometimes you need to also be patient with your partner. Because that person is coming from a whole lot. The bag is plenty. And there is no way they can come into marriage without bringing those bags, except they go through what? Some intervention to heal, to get better, to drop it. So sometimes some behaviors will pop up in your partner. That fight has nothing to do with you. Am I making sense? It has nothing to do with you. It's how that person was what? Was raised. So they have unresolved, for some is unresolved anger. And you wonder, what have I done that has caused this outrage? What have I done? Why are you behaving like this? That's why we encourage that. Do not wait till there are issues, that things get really bad before you seek for help. Truth is that the help some of us need would happen in the church. All you need is just psycho-spiritual help. People have healed, they've changed because of what they kept hearing the word of God, and they got better. But is it going to happen for everyone like that? No. Some people had to talk about the pain. Some people had to connect back to their childhood and replace those memories with something healthier that will help them in their interaction right now. Some have strongholds. You know, the couples meeting we were coming from, it's been 3 days and it's been a whole of learning, talking. And we just have to keep getting better. Because some marriages are going through problems that were not caused by the two people inside. But the minds and the memories and the experiences that they had and they brought it into the marriage and they are allowing it to, to define their interactions. So sometimes just sit down and reflect and look at your life and just do some self-reflection. Just do some self-reflection. How do I relate with people? Am I a people pleaser? Do I have anger problem? Do I forgive? Do I easily let go when people hurt me? Or I hold on to things? Can I give? Some people cannot give, cannot share. Because they grew up with lack of abundance. So even when they have, it's a problem. You will hear some men saying, maybe you should not finish, or even the women. Because how they grew up, life was hard. They had to hold on to every bit that comes. Now they are making it. Now they have a good career. Now they have money. They can't even spend on their partner. Even on themselves, even on their children, because there is something happening in the mind. Am I communicating, friends? So unhealed trauma can be an enemy to our marriage. So we need to heal. We need to get better. Truth is that all of us may not recover from the damage that has been done, but we can get better. To a point where those damage still affects, still control, and still hinders the great and mighty things that God wants to do in our lives. Because if you are someone who have not healed from those pain, and you marry a fantastic guy, oh Lord, and you marry a fantastic lady, it's just a matter of time. You will drain that person. Because by the time you have hurt yourself to a point where you are full, you will start hurting the next person. And the first person you want to hurt is the closest to you, which is your husband or your wife. And you'll be doing it so ignorantly. But it's causing what? A lot of damage. So let's just take the 2 more so we can go on. Forgiveness, enemy of marriage. My partner has offended me today, and I've forgiven, and this year, and I've forgiven plenty times. Yes, forgiveness in different degrees. I forgive you because you didn't come on time. You didn't call me. You didn't help me pack my bag. You didn't clean my shoe. Maybe those are at the very latent, level. But forgiveness must happen. And are you aware that some people struggle with unforgiveness? They can't let go. They can't forgive. So it becomes tough when they find themselves in a committed relationship. And so they are always exiting. They are always what? This one offends me, I can't cope, I leave. This one offends me, I can't cope, I leave. This one offends me, I can't cope, I leave. And so it graduates into bitterness, into prolonged anger, into heaviness, into hatred. The last thing is settling. The 10 things that destroy relationship. Number 10, when you settling, taking each other for granted. See, finish. I know everything about her from head to toe. I know everything about him from head to toe. Nothing more. So we stop working on our relationship. And that's the danger. That's the enemy. You stop working on your relationship. You stop appreciating that person. You stop serving. You stop loving. You stop showing endearment. You stop honoring. You stop referencing that person. Because you have been together for what? For a long time. So when you settle, you are destroying your relationship. When you settle, I know you. I know everything about you. I can predict your next move. Am I communicating, friends? So, and that's why we have to be intentional, like we talked about. There has to be things we keep doing that revives the love. I love to serve my husband. I enjoy serving him. So anything I know I can do, and because he does the same for me, I want to serve. I want him to be fresh, every day. And it's possible. Because sometimes people are like, Where we were coming from, when my husband was talking and they said, next year we'll be married 15 years. She said, I thought you guys just got married. I said, you have been playing, you have done well. He said, because you guys really just talk and just, it's a lot of work, no doubt, but it's working. It's paying because you are doing what we need to do. So do not settle. I know you have known you for 30 years. There is still much more to know about that person. There are still a lot more to learn about that person. So how are you serving? So some people get to a point and sex becomes routine. Even the food is the same thing. The looks, it's the same thing. The environment. And so we just get into that nonchalant attitude. And what happens to our marriage? It begins to sink. It begins to, we downplay it. We belittle it. We don't look forward to our meeting. We don't look forward to time together. We don't look forward to play moments. We don't look forward to, that your husband still walks into the room. But, don't carry that water and let it enter your head. That you just see your wife. You are ravished by that person. It has to be from your thoughts, certainly, and things that you do. Because I like to talk about couples taking themselves for granted. I was in a session one day. The man had cheated, and the issue had started. Apparently, the woman had knew long before she even came out. And the thing she wanted to do was revenge. And she was already on her way to also revenge. So the man was saying things like, so what do you want to? And the man said, even me, I've done my own. And so you can see the level of, I said, this one, I can't even enter. It cannot work. It is well with you. Even Jesus needs your permission to help you. You could see the way they were like, so I've done it, I've done it as well. To hell. You don't want your marriage to get to that point. Because reviving it is going to take a lot. Are we learning? Yeah. So, do not settle. Do not allow unforgiveness. Heal from your traumas. Let your expectations be what? Realistic. Ask questions, do not assume. The wrong mindset you have, check it. Check those mindsets. And check the friends around you as well that may be fueling the mindset. Check the company you keep. I may be fueling it. This mindset needs to go. And the danger is that we are already raising apprentices. If you have children, they can see, they can sense, they can hear. They are picking on everything that you are doing. And two things is likely to happen depending on how the transmitter in their head captures the environment. Some could go to the extreme of not going after what you have done, or some will what? They follow you thoroughly. One of the couples in the retreat we're coming from talked about the appearance. She said in the house she grew up from, you don't talk to your brothers. Brothers are not even fathers. When your brothers are talking as a girl, you are not allowed to talk. She said in their house, you can't send your brothers on any errand. That when they tell you do something and you don't get to it, they beat you like, beat you. So she said she grew up in that environment, but she knew she didn't like it. And so she said she visited her friend one day. And when they go to that house, her friend, a girl, was asking her brother, and you have not washed the toilet now. He's not looking at it. She said, no, is this person your brother or your house help? He says, my brother, it's his duty to watch the toilet. She was recounting this event that happened 12 years ago. She said she couldn't believe that sin. You tell your brother he hasn't washed toilets. How? Eventually he married that guy. That was the guy he came to the retreat with. He said he couldn't believe that there are families like that. So some of us need to be sure what we are doing to our children. The way we relate with our partners and all of that. She said eventually, anytime he goes to the house, he looks forward to seeing him. He will see him in the kitchen. He will cook, normal. The guy will clean. He said she was just fascinated. And started to like the guy small. He said even before the guy looked, because the ones in her house, they are terror. And another danger is that, thank God she was able to think that these guys she will have also repelled a guy like that. Yeah. Because she did mention it, sweetheart. She mentioned at the time, it was very consistent in his behavior. And I said, this guy must be fake. He said, this guy must be fake. You are not a real guy. You are a liar. But one day I will not even shout on your sister. You will not even do anyhow. You will not do. He didn't believe. Because she saw her father, the figure. She saw her brothers who will shout, talk down on women, beat them, slap them, harass them, and do the same to her. But at a point I calmed down that things can get better. So somehow she had to live with a couple for a while who now had beautiful marriages. She now said, things can work. It can work. That was how she began to live and believe and trust that marriages can get better. So sometimes you don't even know who you are influencing by the way you treat your partner. You might just be the only couple that someone will look at and will make them believe that marriage is possible. And you can also be the person somebody will look at and say, marriage to fiakwa. The Lord will help us all in Jesus' name. All right. Have we learned something today? Good. So let's take a few questions or comments or contribution that you would like to share. Anybody wants the mic? You have a question, you have a comment. Let's do this in 10 minutes. We've had a lot of time. So what are you taking away from this meeting today? You want to ask me a question?
No. Okay, mine is actually a contribution and more like a true life. You mentioned the fact that I'm somehow a perfectionist. I want my things to be like somehow. So I remember when I was still a bachelor, my house, I know where things are kept. Even if I close my eyes, I could figure out those things. You know, I'm this kind of person. Okay, your undies from Monday is different from Tuesday, from Wednesday. It's as bad as that, you know. So we got married, and okay, it was also good. So we started having children, and so something happened that changed the whole. So she was actually also telling me that these guys are children, oh. They are not like us. So one particular Saturday, I asked the furniture guy to bring another center table for us in the house. So I wanted to change, center table. So I wanted to change that, the old one. I just got tired. So I now told the guy, okay, pick this one, sell it off. He brought the new one, and I told him, take this one, just sell it off, and just give me money anytime you're able to sell it off. So I left the house. So coming back to the house, around 5, 6, my first son just quickly came to me and said, we broke it, oh. I didn't understand. And when I got in, I didn't see the center table again. So they now showed me where, in fact, it wasn't broken, it was smashed. I couldn't even believe that there were kids that did this. And so I was furious, that no. Today. And so my wife said, come. These children are not guys like us. They don't even know what they have done. It's wrong. And so it affected my relationship with them at that early stage, because I wanted them to act the way I should act, you know. I would tell them, no, you can't be eating and rice. No. You have to eat. So I would tell him, no, you don't eat like this, forgetting the fact that they're just children, you know. But I thank God that I was able to, scale through those, because what would have happened? There would have been a sort of hatred, and that would define a lot of things, in our relationship and going forward. So I really thank God, but I just want to encourage everybody here that sometimes you need to also strike a balance. Do you understand? And so for today, I've adjusted, though. I've adjusted, even though I may not like some things, but I've adjusted. Praise the Lord.
And our first son, unfortunately, is like me. He's a sanguine. He's the one that me and him, we gel. We understand ourselves. And the little one with his dad. But me too, I've adjusted. I arrange well. I try to do my best. All right, thank you for sharing. So any other comments, contribution, question? Okay, let me check. I think there's some questions. Oh, okay. How do you deal with a spouse that prefer hard way out of any situation and always like to do all tasks by themselves and difficult to delegate to others? It's part of what we are talking about. How do you deal with a spouse that prefers hard way out of situation? That's how that person knows how to do it. That person was conditioned to do like that. You know, the African culture also makes you think that things has to be hard. Things has to be hard for you to, life has to be hard. It doesn't have to be. There are better and simpler ways of doing things. Because some of us just want to enjoy soft life, fluffy life. Take care of us. I don't want wahala. So how do you relate with someone like this? There has to be an understanding on your part that this person was programmed this way, conditioned this way, learned to do things this way. If this person doesn't want to delegate, I can almost tell you that person doesn't want to delegate because they have an idea how it has to turn out. And in their head, if it doesn't turn out that way, there's a problem. And so they will rather take their time and focus on it. Some, yes, it might be good. That, you want something to be done in a certain way. Few things you have to do yourself. So number one, I would say have an understanding first so that you as a person as well, you can understand that person. Something happened to him or her growing up, conditioning. And so how can you help? First of all, try to adhere to what he or she wants. It's not going to be easy. Like my husband said in our own case, we didn't have any conflict in our relationship until we started having children. When the kids want to behave like children and one guy is saying they can't do things. So accept him or her. See things from that light. Once in a while, when he wants to do the hard one, follow up with it. Because you are actually trying to set the stage for the conversation you want to have with this person, which I want to believe you would have had. You would have had conversations. You would have, possibly supported this person. But can you sustain this? You cannot. Because in not delegating, it is affecting other things. So when I laughed that my husband would want to arrange his wardrobe, so I would like, this is a weekend. Can we play? Can we talk? Can we do something else? These clothes can't wait. But it's as if the way he's looking at that wardrobe, all his life is disorganized. So, okay. So can we receive wisdom? Other than quarrel, I will sit in the guest room when he's arranging. Now the guest room is in a mess. Kemi. I've done well. So I would just sit with him. So when he's folding, the thing I still wanted to happen will still happen. And so I will bring the conversation after, not at that point. Because when I do at that point, it heightens, the atmosphere. So maybe later in the day or when everything has settled, I will bring it up later. But I waited. I'll just go into the room. When he's arranging, we'll be gisting, we'll talk. I'll fold the ones I can fold. I'll help him do blah, blah, blah. So you have to understand this person. That's who you're married. If you're married, that delegation will affect other things. So we cannot sustain it. So sit him down at a good time. Right tone, right body language, right atmosphere. And bring out perhaps a few things that has been affected because this person is doing this. If you don't delegate, you spend a longer time. Now you are going the hard way. Maybe this person is, let's look for an instance. This person wants to, nothing comes to mind readily, but this person wants to do something, and there are other easier way. You want to spend 5 hours, and this is something that we can do in less than an hour. Why not go through? So suggest those alternatives. Accept this person. I understand you like it, and I appreciate it. But we can't sustain. It's affecting other areas. And keep at it. Don't make it nagging. Nagging will be that you are quarreling, you are fighting, you are shouting. But let it be conversations you are having. And you also have to be patient. This person might have been like this 27 years, 30 years. Are we together? And you just want him to switch. The change you want in your marriage will not happen overnight. It will happen over time with consistency. So what the things you are learning here as well, some of us need them now, need them tomorrow, need them 5 months down the line. But keep learning and keep, So be patient, trust him, and keep talking about it. And also, if you can take up some of those things and try to do as, try to also let it have an outcome like you will want or she would want. Am I communicating? So this person wants to do this thing, and this is the end result. Can I outsource it so that we still achieve that end result? I think that would help. But you have to understand this person. That's how he or she has been. Am I being unrealistic by expecting my husband to inform me ahead if he intends fasting? He feels he doesn't necessarily have to, but I believe he should. Yeah, okay, my husband wants to fast. How is the fasting going to affect me? Yeah, perhaps I've made meal, I've cooked, I've packed his bag, and he says he's fasting. I've gone through the stress of cooking. The food may even waste eventually if I don't have anybody to give the food. Fasting again. I think 1 Corinthians this says that you have to inform your partner because your body doesn't belong to you. This man is fasting and you want to do the do. And he's telling you he's fasting. And you are wondering, I didn't know you were fasting. Right? So how is it? Yeah, fasting is a spiritual exercise and it's good. And sometimes couples fast together and sometimes we fast separately. So are you being unrealistic? I think you are just trying to make sure your relationship runs smooth. And communication, everybody knows where we are at every time. So you are not being unrealistic. It's a good thing that you want to be in your partner's life to know what they do part-time, if it's okay, right? So I think it's good. Oh, I'll be fasting for the next 3 days. I won't be, let me know, no meals, don't come and be waking me up, If your body rises up, pour cold water, you'll be fine. It's just 3 days, right? So I think it just helps you have a smoother relationship. You are not being unrealistic, but maybe now the way you go about it when you eventually find out it's fasting also could be the problem. Now you know it's fasting. It didn't inform you ahead. Now you make a big problem out of it. Maybe that may be the challenge here. Now you know it's fasting. Okay, would it be nice to tell me another time when you want to fast? Because of 1, 1, 1, and 1. Usually we have issues like this, the other way around. It's the women who are doing 70 days. It's the women who are doing 30 days. And like I say, when your husband say, meet me in the other room, that fast is over. Because if you are high, I like the way Daddy did the sand. So by the time you are saying, you are still doing 10 more days. I know a woman, church fast, she will do it. Fellowship fast, business fast, house fellowship fast. I say, it is well, when we join all these fasts together, right? So we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it. Any other? Let me check if I have. Oh, okay. I have one here. Is it possible to date someone for years without sex nowadays that even brothers in church ask for sex? Why? I like your practical answers to questions. Coach Kemi, how do we balance this? Some are quick to stop calling once you show you are not open to sexual relationship. There's a lot of sexual energy all over the place. It's a lot, actually. You go on social media, everybody's just selling sex. It's as if, do it. It's popping up. The things you don't even solicit for. Right? So the person is it possible to date someone for years without sex nowadays? The answer is yes. So when you say even brothers in church is not brothers in Christ. Because you can be, yes, all of us are creation of God. We are not children of God. So the brother they are talking about may even be here, but I don't know, maybe it's online. It's online, yeah, that's why it's not, the brother is not here. It's all those brothers on the streets, So is it possible to date someone for years? Yeah, it shouldn't be too long. Don't be dating somebody 7 years, 10 years and say forever. No. But is it possible that you have, interaction and there will be no sex? Yes. It's possible. And you say in this generation, yes. Nowadays, yes. There are decent, loving, gentle, kind, wonderful, focused guys who are not focused on getting in between your legs. And if you're also a woman who have much value to offer, they want sex, you let them go. But she's asking what is the balance. So brothers in church, you have to filter. Not all of us are sick, different categories in the church, right? So some are still on oxygen, they are not okay. But they are coming, they are being serviced. So those might be such a brother, right? And asking for sex also comes in different ways. Because I like to share a story that happened many years ago when we just started, having meetings like this. And maybe this will help. So the person is asking, before I share that story, how can we balance it? What do we want to balance, really? Right. So you are a woman. Should we have it or not? Yeah, okay. Okay, that's what you think she's saying. Okay. So right now, as a young woman, you are single, and you have made a personal decision that sex for you is a no-no. You don't want to base your relationship on sexual, feelings or sexual affairs. So you have made that decision. And that decision certainly has a lot of benefit. Would you also have challenges on the way? Absolutely yes. Because you will meet people who will call you old school, who will abuse you, who will rubbish your faith and make you look like something is wrong with you and all of that. But you have to keep up on that standard you have set for yourself. Will you also have many people to filter from? Yes. The crowd will be many, but you have to filter them because they do not match your values. Is it also possible on that way that you might get tired? Yes. Because you find yourself having suitors, right? They would come, but when they tell you they want to check, and you are not willing to browse, they would go. So you would have all of those emotions, you will have all of those challenges. But truth is that if you have made the decision to keep your body, keep your pride because you are decent, you love God, you want to honor God, it's a decision you've made, and that is perfectly fantastic and fine. And you will eventually find the one who would have the same value as you are. So when I said I remember that sister vividly, they were dating 2.5 years. She had gone to serve and she came back, and they were already planning their family introduction. And I know her, but I don't know the brother that much. But she was a deeper lifer, but attend our meetings like this that we were doing at that time. So one day she just called me and said, Mommy K. They were calling me Mommy K at that time. Mommy K, brother so and so, he's a bad person. He raped me. He wants. I said, no, these informations are too heavy. Where are you? What's happening? Come over. And she came over. So when I dropped the call, I called the guy. I said, what happened? And he said, you are the first person who will call me and ask me what happened, that I'm coming to see you. So he came, and he said, she just started calling people that I wanted to rape her. I said, tell me what happened. Okay, they had gone to, she came back, like I said, from youth service. They were lonely, they hanged out, went to a friend's family introduction party. So she now said, okay, let's go to my house. Let's hang out together. They were in their house. The brother was on the bed. She was on the bed. The brother was on the floor. And they were chatting and talking. And the brother was looking at her. Fine babe. I can't wait till our wedding. I just being funny. The way I was so and so. And just pulled her legs. I physically just pulled her. Come and sit close to me. And she hit the guy with the leg, slapped him, carried her bag and left. So I said, is that what happened? He said, that was what happened. And the next thing she was just doing was calling friends and family. And the word she was using was rape. So I told her to come. So I said, everything that happened, explicitly word for word, drama to drama, I want to know. From the first time you set your eyes on each other in that morning. And he had called me, we went to his friend's, whatever, and then he said we should chill at his house. I didn't even want to go. I wanted to call one of my friends to go together. I said, how long have you been together? 2.5 years? I know the doctrine of your church doesn't permit you, but I've told you, you have to visit. You can't say you are dating somebody and you will always be packing family and friends when you are visiting. Sometimes you have to go see the guy alone. At least you have trusted each other for this long. So she said she was in their house, and because the guy always talks, he's also a very playful sanguine. Babe, that wedding night, the way I will handle you. He was saying stuff like that. Admiring the lady she wants to marry. After seeing that his friend also got married that morning. And I said, okay, where did the rape come from? He said, I was on the bed. He was now pulling my leg. He was pulling my leg. I said, pulling your leg? How? And so did God also tell you to kick his mouth and slap him? And so you left that place and you picked your phone and you were calling your pastors, and now everybody is seeing that guy in a bad light. I said, how would you also feel if you are dating someone 2.5 years and is not sexually attractive to you? There is problem. I said, if the guy is just admiring, I'm almost set by the way I would do this and do that. It's just thinking out aloud. So sometimes our Christianity, I'm sorry, there must also be some level of understanding. And that was when the guy came and he told me he was so angry because everybody who called him didn't even manage the information well. He said, Ma, it's painful, but I have to let go. That was how she was a deeper lifer, and that was how the relationship ended. I was happy for her because maybe after 2 or 3 years, another brother came and all of that. Fantastic guy. I said, you will use small thing. Even God is not happy with you. Because who committed more sin? You kicked him, you slapped him. I said, did they remove your underwear? Did they choke you? Where did the rape come from? So be careful what you say. You've been together 2.5 years. That year you were supposed to actually have your family introduction. It was a messy case because I was involved. It's been maybe about 10 or 12 years right now. So how do we strike the balance? You must know what you want. And in the relationship, the conversation has to happen. The boundary has to be cleared, set. This is my life. I love you. But sex, for me, is a no-go area. And so when you are also dating someone because you are Christians, you don't visit. You don't hold hands. You don't put your hands around their shoulder. How? And you say you are sexually, you like that person, someone you want to marry. Somebody say cannot work. Because the fire some brother carry, labo satayaka, he can burn down this whole church. So they are just making sure the trouser is helping them. So once in a while they see you, they admire you. And you now say you are one spiritual, but let it be clear. My husband and I dated 60.5. We didn't have sex. I got married as a virgin. I was close to 28. It was clear. We signed paper. I wrote it down. I troubled him. I gave him stress. Yes. We had it. It's not about 68. So, but how do you, to answer you, my darling, there are men who do not want sex. You have not found your home. When the one that loves you and accepts you and honors you and agrees with your values shows up, maintain that standard. You have to have a standard. If you don't fall for, if you don't, stand for something, you will fall for anything. So all those ones come in, and once they say that it's sex, you are not willing, they go. They should go. They should go. They should go. So stay in there, and the right. You are not missing anything. You are actually missing STDs. You are missing gonorrhea. You are missing wahala. You are missing breakfast. You are not missing anything. Keeping to yourself. Right. Okay, so let's do this and go. If my wife should buy anything eatable, most times she cuts me off from taking out of it. But whenever I buy, even without my permission, they feel... It seems like the brothers understand. That's where we used to do, Abby. It's normal now. Why we not taste your food? Whatever you have, we own it. Your money is our money. Anything you buy, we have it. We ride your car, we do everything. So when your wife buy, and she cuts me off from eating, my brother, let her be enjoying herself. You should grow up. It's normal. Maybe you are just entering the ministry. That is how it is. Everything will be fine. So, auntie, you too. It's good to share. There's love in sharing. There's love in sharing. Well, I'm thinking maybe some people, You know, some people cannot use the same cup. If I'm drinking water now with a cup, they can't even give their spouse. So I wonder how they kiss. Maybe sometimes too, you are bringing dirty hand. I'm just saying, you know. Maybe you are bringing dirty hand. When they say come and share, you carry the everything, the biggest part. You eat the largest portion. They say come and take a bite, you eat everything. So the lady has seen that you always short her ration. So bros, when you buy your own, we can share it. But this one, let me eat by myself. But really, I'm not seeing any big deal here, except you are not sure of other factors that would make her not want to share, right? But we can talk about it. But do not stop her from having from yours like you always do. You keep up that aspect of your life where you want to share, you want to give, and teach her and gradually. And you can ask her, is there any reason? It could be go and wash your hand. It could be just eat a little, or don't put your mouth, or you are putting plenty saliva, whatever. Another question? Wow. All right. Telling my wife, I hope we've helped that couple, right? You want to say something?
Praise God. I thought I should just add to the bundle of wisdom that she shared about that person who asked how could they find a middle ground if a potential brother in church is asking for it. Just don't do it. I had an experience a few years when I was single. I used to date a lady before I came to Lagos. And I had determined that I was not going to have sex with anyone that I was going to marry or before marriage. So after I left, a few things happened and I let her go. But a few months later, after I had come to Lagos, she came to look for me in Ikeja and said she wanted us to make up and all of that and stuff. And so we saw after church, it was on a Sunday, we saw after church, and then I was living with one of my friends at that time. We're all single guys living in the place. And then she came like, when are you going back to Ibadan? I said, I'm not going back to Ibadan. Okay, so how is it going to be? I say, no, I came to see you in Lagos. I said, okay, fine. We went out, we had things to eat, and then we were sleeping in a, it was a very small apartment. All of us had to sleep there, but I wasn't particularly living with a guy who was born again. So when I told him that this was somebody I was dating before, he disappeared. And do you understand? So we were alone. But I had made my decision. And then in the middle of the night, she was telling me, I need you to prove to me that you love me. Yeah, I love you. That's the truth. I love you. But, I love you, but it's not going to happen. That's not how I know how to prove love to people. And then the night went. Was I tempted? Yes. But the night went. A few months later, I realized that she was pregnant. So, yeah. True life story. True life story. So, I said that, her question was guy to girl. Nobody is exempted from this thing. It could be girl to guy. So please, especially those things that God says, is to protect us. God doesn't have sex. It's us that we do those things. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I didn't hear that gist too. That is a serious case of wahala. They will just come with shite for you. Another person's child. That's a lot of lessons. Because like he said, he was tempted, free food. And that other guy, the night has to be good for the both of you. Has even enhanced, affliction. Right. Okay, so let's take this lastly. Telling my wife that she nags creates another atmosphere of nagging. So that means you already know that there's a system you're adopting that is not working. Your strategy is not working. Because sometimes we were talking about nagging, and we were able to decipher that there could also be a positive side to nagging. Nagging means I'm telling you something repeatedly. So if I've told you once or twice and you get on it, would I have to be repeating myself? No. So that means there is a demand I'm making on you, but you are not listening, or you are hearing me, you are not responding to that request. So how can you handle this? It's back to communication, which is, number one, realize that this strategy of you telling her she's nagging creates another problem. Because she's telling you something, you are not adjusting to it. So how can we address this in a healthy way? Now you have identified there is a problem. So, self-reflection. What is this woman telling me? In those nagging, there are information she's giving you. Do this, stop this. Am I communicating? Yeah. There are informations in it. At that time, detach from the fact that it may be coming out rude or insensitive. She's already at a point where maybe she has tried everything. Are there men who will not move until they nag them? Yes. We also saw that in the couples we were coming from. We saw that clearly. The woman said, I know the man I married. If you are petting and pampering, we won't do anything. So small time, you should just bring violence. By force. So the guy will sit up and fasten his belt and get the things done. The woman knew people, I should not be bringing violence for you to hear. Hear. So find a good time to bring up this discussion. First thing I've said, practice self-reflection. What is she saying? What are those things she's trying to tell me? Write them down. Begin to do them. You didn't marry a mad person. Nobody wants to be talking and bringing violence and be shouting, except you married the mad person, which I know you did not marry. Right? So find out what it is and then sit with her. Tell her how you feel about, that issue, scenario. What can we do? And I'm sure she would be able to communicate with you in a better light, not with the same nagging. And the easiest thing is to just get on those things you have noted that she's requesting of you. And the ones you cannot do, explain to her. Let her realize. Maybe this, because you may even keep her in the dark. She thinks you can do it, but maybe there are other things limiting you from doing it. You are not communicating to her, and she's assuming. You see it again? And based on that, she's making her own judgment, and they are wrong. So we have to talk and respond to those things that she's demanding of you. And if you need other help, please seek help on time. Seek help on time. Thank you very much. God bless you.
This marriage thing, it is well. Please can we appreciate our coach one more time? I feel led that we should just stand up on our feet and just pray for about a minute concerning everything we've heard. Yes, we've laughed and all that, but there is a place of, asking for help from God to even identify the things that need to be changed and what you are going through. Can you just open your mouth and begin to speak to God in the language that you know? If you can speak in tongues, go ahead and begin to speak. Mandele bro shiketere bro sigara baba baba le grasa mundo sunde rebreshe gereba raga tigere mundo sudere breke sigere bo ha breke shigere gere. God is the author of marriage, and there's a grace for it. There's a grace for it, but we also have to cooperate with that grace. Pray for grace, pray for grace. Pray for grace, pray for grace. If you are single, ask God to show you the things that you need to start changing for you to walk in all that He has for you where marital bliss is concerned. As a married person, there are things you need to change as well. And I want you to just continue to pray it out, pray out the answers, pray out your own wisdom for your marriage, for your relationship. Mandere bro shigere basaka rabreke shigere bro sigere bo regatara mundo shunda labreke sigere mundo sogoro bro regatigere brakatara mundo shunde lebreke sigere mundo sugarara la grasa gasa lebraka shigere mundo sunde regatara mundo shogodo lebreka sigere mundo sunge gatara bashagada lebro shigere gede. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Please have your seats. Thank you. Please let me appreciate our coach one more time. Thank you so much, Ma. And let me appreciate our husband, please. I've noticed that some of the best relationship coaches are the ones that can open up their lives and talk about what they go through and all that. A lot of people just talk and it looks as if, okay, this one looks like textbook. Tell me something that I can relate with. And she's always doing that. And he's always sitting down to hear the stories. So men will be like, my son, my son, what can you? But thank you, sir. Thank you for letting her do what she does. Thank you, sir. All right, I promised some people books, right? If you don't know, that means you were not here. If you know, where are those people again? 1, 2, where you welcome? Don't get your book. I asked those that have been here for all throughout the 7 episodes, and about 3 or 4 of them came up. Okay, I should give somebody else. Where's the other person? No. Were you there when I asked? Yeah, somebody at the back that I come get your own. Somebody put their hand up at the back. Yes, I remember. Were you here when I asked? Oh, yeah, come get one. It's a book, so you can ask her to autograph it after this, okay? No, I said 3. I was only going to give her 3. If I give everybody that's been coming, I will have to have a meeting with my wife. All right. Thank you again for coming for the meeting. Please invite your friends. All right. I believe this place should be fuller than this. And if anything, while the meeting was going on, in fact, Pastor Barry came to me and said, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I said, what are you thinking? He said, I don't think what I'm thinking. Say what you're thinking, so I know what you're thinking is what I'm thinking. That, don't you think we should have our own couples retreats? I said, we've been thinking that thing since. Don't worry, we'll plan it. And we will. And Ma, we are going to come calling. Just gather you and your husband. Let's go somewhere, 2-3 days, and let's enjoy. Do you guys agree? Okay, yeah. Please note, the church is not paying, no. I'm just saying on my own now. All right. Let's welcome Pastor Inda to give the final shout out.
Praise God. All right. It's been, okay, next month, I think it's 18th of September. So please mark your calendars and we'll be here again. So thank you once again, Coach Kemi. And please, let's go. And last week we did things that can enhance your marriages, and today is things that can detract your marriages. So you must find one thing or the other that you can start working on just to ensure that you are moving your marriage forward. Yeah, God bless you. See you next month.